Well, hello there. How's it going, one and all? It's me, Generic Pie, and I'm back with another episode of Peepin' Tom Bombadil, which is when I peep on other people's games from the Discord server. This is a game shared to me by GeForce, where they play against a player called Prof. I've never played Prof. I had a look on the ladder, and they appear to be a new player. So welcome, Prof. Great to have you on board. Um, yeah, just gonna jump straight into this bad boy. So GeForce was playing as the Shadow, and Prof was playing as the Free Peoples. They did bidding, and the one token was the decided allocation for the free people. I've noticed an observation. I've noticed that bidding has become just the norm now. When I joined the server, bidding was not that common and largely something reserved for tournaments. Now it's like seems to be the default thing to do, and I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. I don't mind it. Um, so in terms of starting cards, Danes, nice. Weeper the Swifter, I like to have it in my hand. It is nice to have. Denethors, meh. Orc Patrol, nothing. Not great. Not great. But not the worst. Zero Eyes. Two added. Two Musters, so minion is a possibility. Two Wills rolled. Good, good. I presume that we will be playing Day 9 Fitz Guard to get some card cycling. Standard army movements. Sorry, no, changes. GeForce changes their mind, decides to bring Isengard to war. Oh, I like you, Prof. Well done. Decides to go straight for the... Wait, how is this even possible? Oh, with Weeper the Swift, of course, yeah. So, 1, 2, is it 5 you can do with Weeper the Swift? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Very, very nice. And you even get the little Gandhi draw with the Weeper of the Swifter as well. So lovely stuff. GeForce. Oh, one of those games. Yeah, yeah. We know where this is going. So we move a little Orky Isengardian up into Moria, and Barad-dûr goes to Gorgoroth. Weeper of the Swifter is played. Draws into Wizard's Staff. Beautiful. That's exactly what you want when you've just thinned out the Fellowship. You want a nice wizard staff to protect the Gandhi man as you go through your journey through Middle Earth. So that's very good. Gorgoroth goes to Minas Morgul. The king is crowned. Half Orcs and Goblin Men is drawn. Nice card draw. Gondor goes one step close to war. Yep. Very good, very good. And Saruman comes into play in Orthanc. Where else? We go on to turn number 2. The free people get Path of the Woses and an Ent card. And the Shadow get Warm Restore and Toil. Nice. And the Shadow's moving. Okay. Not quite useful just yet, but could be soon. 2 eyes once again go into the box. No eyes allocated. So yeah, consistently rolling 2 eyes. GeForce. And meanwhile, the free people get a for this situation quite a nice roll. To be honest, you're not rushed. Well, you might want to play your Wizard Staff. That's the only slightly annoying thing. But you also want to move twice. Yeah, I don't think personally I wouldn't be in a rush to kill Gandalf and get to 6. I'd be quite happy to stay on 5 for a little bit and try and get value out of Wizard Staff to try and protect the Fellowship. Then giving you kind of, 2 decent-ish chances of, because this can provide a military threat, whereas the Gandhi man can provide the buffering to give you a credible chance of getting a ring victory as well. One thing you might have to be careful about here, though, is if they bum rush into Minas Tirith, you do need to save one of these character dies to escape the king. So let's see if that comes to fruition. Passes. Sauron goes to war. Yep. Fellowship moves once. Not hit. So yeah, you don't want to rush to use that one just yet, because this is going to happen. Yep. So armies grouped together in Gorgoroth. Other army moves to South Ithilien. Okay, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. Now, are you going to be forced to use a ring to evacuate Aragorn, or is Aragorn going to have to fight? We shall see. The Fellowship are hit. They are revealed. The Gandalf man is not killed. I think that is wise. Eats the corruption. Ormur Sorin is now safe to play. Very good. Very good. What happens here? So we get... Oh, right, okay. Yeah, he's come to fight. Aragorn had no intention. Oh, that's actually a really nice play because, yeah, what I was describing was, oh, you must use a die to evacuate the king. What you can do is move the king to go and fight, and then when this army presses, you can leave the king behind, can't you, right? So he can just chill in Osgiliath when the rest of the army retreats. Also, because, I mean, if this army had gone to North Ithilien, it could in this situation have actually circumvented Osgiliath and gone around to Minas Tirith. So that's actually, it's a tiny little detail, but it does make you wonder, was there any reason to go to South Ithilien rather than North Ithilien here? North Ithilien seems to have more advantages. Nice one, all very stupid, they say. So G-Force doesn't mess around, decides to go for Osgiliath. Let's see what cards we've got here. You could give up your sort of cruel as death, doesn't feel great. We come to kill's not good. Swarm of Bats is probably your best bet if you're going to play a card. Meanwhile, maybe the Sudden Strike. Actually, that would be a great Sudden Strike, to be fair. I'd be definitely leaning towards using a Sudden Strike here. Yep, there we go. So a good blocking of a Sudden Strike. G-Force rolls the 1 hit. And Grunaprof rolls 3 hits back. So, yeah, the king is in fighting Fettel today. Decides to press. They skulk away to Pelegir. This is an interesting game, man. Leave Minas Tirith pretty bare already. This army's not that big, though. So, some pretty fun stuff going on. I like to see it. Yeah, naturally, you muster in Minas Tirith. G-Force isn't sure what to do. Because, yeah, this is a tricky one. Because this army is not that big. If you go to Minas Tirith here, you kind of need to reinforce that army. You don't let Minas Tirith grow. But you also don't let this army grow. But if you throw yourself into this army again, you might just be throwing an army into the meat grinder, leaving yourself rather open to, you know, you're not really doing the huge amount rather than, you know, popping off a few Gondorians from the force pool. So, yeah, it's a very tricky one. It's a very tricky one. Goes for Minas Tirith, okay. Leaves 1 behind on Osgiliath to... yeah, this is such a very crucial point for the free people or the shadow to hold in this situation, I think. Having control of Osgiliath is quite important. You don't really want this army just to be able to easily march back in here if it so decides to do. But yeah, naturally, Grunaprof is continuing the mustering in Pelegir, which is I think the correct decision, and the Witch King comes into play in Minas Tirith. Cool game. There is another way. It's drawn, as is Guards of the Citadel. Meanwhile, we get Lore of the Ring and Shadows Gather. This is an excellent draw for the Shadow in this situation, I think. The Shadow is very keen to get armies here. So I think my plan would be to maybe you move Morannon down to Gorgoroth, and then you go 1, 2, 3 to Osgiliath. Or, you know, actually no, that'd be a bit too weird. Maybe do it the other way. 1, 2, 3. And then you've got a big army to throw at this and to reinforce Minas Tirith. You just got to hope that the free people don't read it and attack into Osgiliath to prevent you doing it. Which would limit your options somewhat. 1 I added this time, other than the additional force allocation. The will is used straight away to play guards. So trying to protect... I'm not sure I would have rushed to do that. Personally. I don't think this army is just going to take this down straight away. It might. Maybe you don't want to risk it. Sure. Decides not to use the will. Yeah, I was more had an issue with using the will to do it. I think it's fine to use a hybrid die to do that. You've already done a lot of mustering this game. I think that's okay. Yeah, good top deck. Shadows Gather. Okay, interesting. Decides to use the Shadows Gather to get the Southrons into play. I don't love that because the Southrons are nowhere near war yet, and you don't have any musters showing this hand. I think I would have preferred because you. I think I would have done, and also it's only getting 5 HP moving, whereas if you'd done this, you would have moved 9 HP. You have to set it up a little bit, but I think it's well worth it personally to get the extra HP. And also this army, you kind of want to send it over for maybe for Corsairs later anyway. Yeah, don't love that. Fellowship hides. A little Orky boy goes and sits on them. Army groups up in Moranen. Fellowship moves. The Fellowship is not hit. Safe. Wizard stuff not being played. Maybe they want to kill the wizard to try and get up to 6 dice now. Fellowship's doing too well almost. Moranen comes up to Daggerlad. Orc Patrol is played. Perfect time to play Orc Patrol. Draws a 2. Doesn't get the reveal. Gandalf's killed. Yes, that's the only benefit. That downside is you've given the free people Gandalf the white by doing that. Maybe it's worth the trade-off. As free people, while it's great to get up to 6, you do really want to keep a credible chance of getting that ring dunk, and you've now only got 6 HP of Meat Shield on -5 net corruption. Still quite a long way from Mordor. Kind of, yeah, could be tough. Wizard Staff is now basically useless. So we'll see if that comes back to bite the free people. Does that make the ring? Do they need the speed? Do they need the Gandalf? Is this the smart play, or will corruption become a real issue for the free people? Almost in Toil also kills a card. That's when you kind of want it to kill Wizard Staff, actually. This army comes down from Daggerlad. Yeah, I wonder if the Shadow's regretting. This is because you're using a lot of dice to move this army when you could have done it with the Shadows Gather. This army it's fine staying there for now. Could have moved that with the other half army movement. Gandhi comes into play. Okay, and now, yes, yeah, this is not particularly efficient shadow play, because now this army's gone back. It's gone 3, and then you've moved it out back to West Rondor. No, painful. More mustering in Peligir, good, and half orcs is played in Minas Tirith. So the one good thing about this is you have fully surrounded the forces of good. Maybe what GeForce was concerned about is wanted just to get something in Osgiliath ASAP to prevent some kind of military charge through into Mordor. With this setup, that has been quashed, but I still don't think it was that likely that the free people were going to go for a military charge that turn. Rage of Done things a Morgul Wound and Thranduil's Archers and Bilbo's Song. 3 eyes in the box this time. So Thranduil's Archers is nice. Rage is okay. Morgul Wound could be good. Alright, so nice to see the same number of dice for the free people. You love to see that as a free people's player. Gwynprof said you've had some weird rolls. I mean, the free people must be very up on hybrids here. Yes, +5 on hybrids. That is very, very unusual. The Fellowship moves straight away. They are not. They are hit on the reroll. Good orc. Top orking. And it's a 3. If only you had a wizard to kill. Or a wizard staff to block a tile. So yeah, so now, I mean, the one benefit of that is it does stop Morgul Wound. But yeah, corruption's starting to get a little bit high as a free plus player. I'm not loving this. I wouldn't be too happy with the state of my corruption situation. Southron will start going to war. Get those Oliphants involved, baby. Thunder's Archers played. Cool. Yeah, allows you to cycle into another very powerful card. Southron's fully at war. Mustering in Dol Amroth. I think that's fine. I guess is that. I think as a Shadow free people here, I think I'd be now starting to think about. You've done a lot in Gondor. What else are you going to do? Like, I think you need like another vein to mine. Whether that's getting the elves to war, whether that's making Rohan a thing. I feel like you've done a lot in Rohan. At the moment, there's no real obvious path to go down. I don't think it's super necessary to focus on Dol Amroth still. I think now my energy would be on another race to try and balance out the game board a little bit. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the Shadow's energy has gone to Gondor, so the Shadow hasn't been doing much else either, but you might not be rolling a million hybrids and musters every turn in future. So you want to get some stuff done elsewhere at some point. Decides to go for the north. That's interesting. Minas Tirith is bolstered, as is a small little force pops out to Dimril Down. This is a nice move because it means that the free people will then declare into an orc-infested territory when they go through Moria next turn if they reveal. If they declare. It's going okay. So it looks like the free people are like really just going hard on military here because like the North, I suppose they are a good defensive force. They can defend the whole of the Jew line if you get them to war. So that is very useful. But they're also a very strong military threat. So this could, this army is obviously eyeing up Lorien. This army goes to Lorien. The North are at war. It really puts the Shadow in a very, very awkward position because you really have to start thinking about protecting Dol Guldur when you are also thinking about attacking Lorien. So, yeah. Fighting Uruk-hai is drawn. The North are fully at war. Yeah, cool. I like this play from Grown Up Prof. It's very decisive. It's very not trying to like hedge your bets and go for a bit of everyone. They've just gone, I'm going to get the North to war and let's just, just see what happens. They might even have a very specific plan in mind. Maybe they're eyeing up one of these, these two strongholds. So the Fighting Uruk-hai is played in Minas Tirith because there is a Warg in there. So you've got some good cards for this situation. I think this is a fine situation to play Devery of Orthanc. You could have even played Denthal's Folly prior if you wanted to. But I think this is... Oh, okay. I'm surprised that you're playing a Power 2 Great there. With the North, with the Elves not at war, and, nothing being targeted yet. Power 2 Great can just be a great card to just slow down the Shadow a lot and make and because the Elves haven't been, it does some of the mustering for you. So while a no quarter is nice, I don't think I would have thrown that away. I think I would have rather, because I don't think there's much help. There's not a huge amount of hope for Minas Tirith anyway. I might have even been more inclined to play the Valor. But I don't love that either. Yeah, tricky one. Oh yeah, can't even play the card first round anyway. So Gronoprof seems to be running quite a lot of sixes, so that's good defensive work from the free people. 2 hits back versus 2 hits from G-Force. Overall, better for the Shadow than the free people. Decides not to play the no quarter this turn. Yeah, I think that's probably wise. Go to Relentless Assault and rolls a pile of shit. Oh, that is... Oh, no. Not a pile of shit. You're rolling 4s. Sorry, for some reason I was thinking of 5s. Perfect. Excellent Relentless Assault. The opposite of a pile of shit. 2 hits back from Gronoprof. And this is looking very good for the Shadow. The only downside here is that this army is now... Could this army just do a straight charge? Like, is that possible? It could be. It could be. And then if you move this here, then they've got a good charge on for Umbar. So if they can open up the north, and have a credible target, this could be an interesting avenue for Free People military. Because if you send this army through here, it's going to take at least one of these strongholds if it just bludgeons its way through. Very interesting. G-Force does get a 6 on the final die to take down Minas Tirith. And Gronoprof gets 1 hit back to stick it to the man. And they're up to 2 victory points. Mustering are going in Bree. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like they're eyeing up Moria, potentially. Little do they know that Rage of the Dunlandings is lurking in wait. Okay, Kiran ships, nice. And I will go alone, less useful. Orcs multiply again. That must have been from the Witch King, I guess. Many Kings and Shelob. Alright, cool. Decent cards. Wing with the staff is thrown away. The Fellowship is indeed revealed, or sorry, declared into Dimwell Dale with the extra reroll. Very handy. Okay, that is a rough roll, a very, very rough roll for the Shadow. And yes, this is the type of turn when I might think about just going for it. I might think about just going for it and just seeing what happens. You attack here. What can they do? Regroup here. You go here. They've only got 1 muster. You've got as many, and these armies don't have leaders in them. Oh boy. Yeah, I might just go for it and then hope that the North can get a second one, or that this army can just take 2 strongholds. However, Many Kings isn't that great here. I was thinking of Mustering of Long Plan War. Yeah, scary, yep. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is! Come on. Cool, yeah. G-Force is like... cool, yeah. Yeah, really cool, man. Inside, they're dying. And Gronoprof is rolling hot shit, man. 3 6s. That is insane. I mean, I'm not sure if we've got the dice here, but yeah, whatever. Those 6s are pretty much all Gronoprofs, I think. Yeah, this is pretty rough for G-Force. 2 hits back though. Sorry, 3 hits back. So that is important. That's very important. This army has shrunk quite a lot. Is it big enough now? We're going to find out. Sends leadership back here. The only problem with that play is that it does give the Free People a little bit of tempo. As the Free People, you might be inclined to actually maybe even go through. Do they have any scouts? They do not have any scouts. You might actually want to go through North Athelion and go round to Daggerlad. Because this army can only get to Gorgoroth. I think if you go here and get attacked into in North-South Athelion, because you don't have the scouts, it's kind of a tricky fight. You don't really want to fight this army. So, it doesn't seem nice, but I think attacking into North Athelion, if you're going to go for it, that's the play. Yeah, good stuff. No card, no card. 3 hits from Gronoprof, 1 hit back. That's solid for the Free People. Yeah, this army marches in. Ah, we forgot about the South Runians. Often, yeah, rare to actually see the situation happen, but good play by G-Force. And suddenly, those 3 hits. It's funny how this army suddenly looks so much weaker. Luckily, you do have captains to the west, or a captain to the west, to bolster the actual attacking power. But yeah, what cards have we got to defend? Could be a good for a no quarter. Could be a great one for a charge, actually. Actually, no, it's only 2. No, I think it's sudden. We go for a sudden strike. Meanwhile, what does Shadow have? No leadership here, so most of these cards aren't great. Yeah, as always, awkward defensive stuff. Okay, going straight for Minas Morgul. Oh yeah, of course, you don't need to go around here anyway. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking about if they had moved here for the initial attack. Right, and then if they attack you, still slightly awkward, but... Oh no, that's really dangerous for the Shadow. Because if they attack you here, as long as 2 units survive, you then retreat. And then with your move next turn, you split into Moran and Barad-dûr, and you basically win the game. So it's actually vital that the Shadow doesn't attack here. The Shadow has to probably muster in Barad. Maybe I'm not sure what you do. It's going to be awkward. This is going to be really interesting. Yeah, so I think that's probably the play. Yeah, and then with the second move, once they move in, then you move Dag to Daggerlad and to Minas Morgul. Yeah, Gronaprof was hoping that he would attack into here, he would move into here, and then he would do the two army moves and would win the game outright. So nice trap, but G-Force did not fall for it. No card. We get a... okay, now happy to do the attack. What happened with the will, actually? Was the will used just to make that initial move? I guess it was. 1 second. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit confused there. So what Gronaprof is doing is just attacking straight into Minas Morgul. Which actually does make a lot of sense, I think. 'Cause then at least... It's a tricky one. I guess it does give you a way out. If you get attacked into, you can run away to North 3 and you can escape some dudes. Yeah. Not really sure. Saves you using a ring. Anyway, so Gronaprof gets the roll they need, gets up to 2 victory points. Shadow isn't sure what to do. Decides to put Minas Morgul under siege, which is the correct decision. So now it's kind of a race against time. Can the Free People get to 2 more victory points before this falls? I don't think this will fall just yet. It's quite a decent little army in there. But it could probably fall within 2 turns, I would think, at least. So pressure's kind of on the Free People to win it next turn, I think, if they're going to have a good chance of a Free People military victory. After that, I think, once this army fails, probably looking at GG. Unless the Free People military becomes a thing once again. Sorry, Ring Dunk becomes a thing once again. All right. So, the Free People draw King Brands and Faramir. G-Force says I shouldn't have played King as revealed in battle earlier. Yeah, actually, in a game, like, I didn't really think about it at the time. In a game such as this, when A, Aragorn is on the board, and B, you've literally evacuating Mordor to, go onto an offensive in Gondor. Maybe it's a game where you take it a bit slower and you don't go relentless assaulting and you actually hold that up your sleeve. Because that's actually a great trap to play against the Free People. When they do send Aragorn charging out, you go bloop, haha, I've got the King's revealed, and then you laugh your merry head off. King's Brands, Faramir's, and what's the Shadow going to get? Another red tile and threats and promises. So a mega stacked hand there for the Shadow. Going to have to throw some things away, and let's see what they get rid of. Kills File, okay. Morgul Wounds, I will go alone, and Threats and Promises, right. No eyes, 1 eye added. Hell of a roll. Day Without Dawn is not an option for the Shadow, thankfully for the Free People. The Fellowship, so now starting with the Fellowship again. Rolls a 6, they're hit on a 2, Legolas eats it. Almost on Toil kills a card, I think, what could that be? the only card that was left. Can't remember what that was. Did they still have Bilbo's Song? Or did that get discarded earlier? But either way, it's gone. Mustering in near Harad. A rare mustering point. Near Harad starts moving upwards. Yep. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Yeah, so all the Southrons and Eastlings are getting involved in the action. Okay, this one's actually going here to try and get a cheap Dol Amroth, by the looks of it, which is interesting. So kind of semi-prioritizing taking back Minas Morgul, but also semi-prioritizing the military game. And Northern Elite goes to Bree. Yep. Armies join up in Minas Morgul. Yeah, so is there an avenue for the free people to win it this turn? If they go 1, 2, 3, 4, they can't do it, can they? 1, 2, 3. No, they can't actually get attack, and they would need a leader in here anyway. So, don't think it was doable. So yeah, just rather focusing on heavily on mustering. So meanwhile, the Shadow is focused on taking back Minas Morgul. Do they have the cards for it? Great situation for a great host, fittingly. Solid for They Are Terrible. Wouldn't go for the Onslaught. Maybe a raid, maybe a Relentless Assault if you're feeling frisky. Goes to the Great Host. I think that's a really solid starting card. Isn't really countered by the Shield Wall. Yeah, so perfect. So you get the one from the Great Host and the one from the roll. That's solid. 3 back from Grunprof. So yeah, so 2 hits versus 3 hits. Decides to go for the press. All right. So where were we? Sorry. Draws into a Day Without Dawn. A little bit too late. So we get a They Are Terrible against Confusion. Good stuff. All the 5s on the wrong roll. So 2 hits though. So not bad. And 2 hits back from Gronaprof. So Gronaprof rolls all the 1s, and he was hoping that GeForce would roll all the 1s. But this is not looking good for old Aragorn and Bozza, who are now trapped in Minas Morgul, stuck up the tower, being bludgeoned by a Witch King and 3 Nazgûl. Yeah, the plan didn't quite go. I mean, that's the problem with these plans. It's such an all-or-nothing thing. I've generally, probably because I'm relatively inexperienced, I don't tend to go for free people military attempts that often. Like, that army looked so big, but then it gets 3 hits against it. Suddenly it's down to only 6 HP. Maybe you really do need a proper Doom stack to pull off this kind of skullduggery. And that's partly why I think I'm not sure if I wanted to stay, put Minas Morgul under siege, because at least if you go to Gorgoroth and go to Barad-dûr, it kind of buys you time to then get something under siege. Maybe if you stay 1 step ahead of this army, because if maybe use a ring, you could have then attacked it and then run away with your boys. And then if you can, you know, if you have a credible chance, especially if you don't have a credible chance of winning a military victory in the next game, at least you can escape with your Dai and your Boromir. Although, as GeForce said earlier, you've bought a hell of a lot of time and you've killed a lot of army units. So maybe that's enough. Maybe you just focus on the ring game, move the Fellowship tons this turn, and you're already net positive because you've just wasted so much of the Shadow's resources and time. And that looks to be what Gronaprof is doing. Does get hit on that second move though. 1 reveal into Eastern Met. Minas Morgul is attacked once again. I suspect this is it for Aragorn. Relentless Assault does the job. Oh no, you only played the 1. Oh god. Oh, that is just cruel. That is cruel. Oh no. Wait, that isn't 1 because you only sacrificed 1. Yeah. So that was just the worst of all worlds for Gronoprof. Oh my god, this is this is nightmarish. But you'd still think that Aragorn is going to bite the dust very soon. Go Miss Morgul again. What are you going to go for this time? Maybe just a swarm of bats. Yep, against the no quarter. Looking for that 6. Gets the 6. And oh my god. And you kill the Witch King. Okay. Holy mackerel. I did not see that coming. That is... Oh, yeah, I think with the Relentless Assault, I would have... Because you only needed 1 hit, I would have just gone for the double. Because that would... Well, actually, you would still be susceptible to what just happened. Getting wiped. So maybe you did the right thing and just got really unlucky. Yeah, that is really bad luck for G-Force, I must say. And he keeps the stronghold. Oh my god, that's wild. All the leadership gone. Yeah, so I think right now, looking at the current state, you kind of part of you's thinking, oh, this is actually like hugely in favor of the free people. But when you look at it, like the free people don't have any credible way of winning a free military victory at the moment, really, apart from the North doing something, which is okay. That is credible, but they need to take 2 strongholds, and the free people corruption situation is not looking great now. Now it's only net 1 corruption, and you're still 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away from Mordor. So yeah, I think corruption game is favoring the Shadow military. And then it's kind of a military race. Can the free people get a military game going on 5 dice? Not looking good, really. Yeah, I think this is kind of G-Force's game to lose in this situation, even though they have lost the Witch King. Will depend a lot on hunt luck and how many musters they respectively roll and the cards that they draw. Right, so yeah, this little orc is like sent to mop up the dead bodies in Minas Morgul and put a little flag there and say, "It's ours again." And we go on to turn number 7. God, so much has happened in 6 turns. Boy, oh boy. Isildur's Bane, Shadows of the Misty Mountains. Very nice card there. Shadows of the Misty Mountains is a great draw for the Shadow. Yeah, as a free you almost want to kind of take it really slow and like heal, but there's no place to heal, which is tricky. This is kind of why I would have gone for the Wizard Staff play. I think that in a game like this where you're wasting so much time, you just want to take that little bit extra effort to protect the Fellowship, because now the Fellowship's looking a little bit dicey. And there's no way to heal it. Although Axe and Bow is nice. Can just about still be played. Going to try and put Dol Amroth under siege. Doesn't muster in Dol Amroth. Are there any left? Yeah, Oh, but Círdan's ships is still up their sleeve. But the problem there is the elves are nowhere near war. Nowhere even close to war. So that's tricky. Oh, Imrahil, though. Okay, I didn't see Imrahil. Take it back. Puts the end of siege. Now you obviously play Imrahil. Yes, that's absolutely fine. Muster some Nazgul. Yep. There was, I think, there was no 1 Nazgul on the board prior to that play. Shadows has played. Great stuff. Another Nazgul in play. Mustering leaders in the north in Dale and Bree, respectively. Big armies are grouping up. This is also quite dodgy, because by sending everyone, I would have definitely left at least 1 dude behind in Dol Guldur for multiple reasons. 1, because you literally can't even fit all these guys into Dimril Dale, and B, because there's a whole load of northern boys, you know, sharpening their swords and eyeing up an empty Dol Guldur. AM is played, good, and Shelob goes into the pool with the final C die. Didn't have any... might have wanted to play maybe Isildur's Bane there, so that if you reveal them they can't move first turn, next turn. rather than... I think Shelob you could play later. I think I would have played this as Bane. Nazgul Search, New Powers Rising. Solid cards for the Shadow there. Good, nice hand of cards there. Oh, yeah. And also, okay, they've got Orcs multiplying again anyway. But maybe that could be a trap in itself, actually. Maybe they're trying to lure the North to come to Dol Guldur to then jump out with Orcs multiplying again. Fellowship moves. They're safe. Armies join up in Dimril Dale. Lorien is attacked but under siege. North Elves start going to war. As Shadow, you might actually want to incentive. You might actually want to have. You really want to, focus on taking down Dol Amroth before you put the Elves to war in this situation. Simply because Círdan's is very, half the deck has been gone through. 50% chance they've got Círdan ships in hand. If you go for Lorien, put them to war, and then you get halfway through Dol Amroth, suddenly they play Círdan's, and you've got to muster a whole metric ton of Oliphants to then finish it off. Okay, yeah, so that could be what happens here. I think I would be prioritizing these types of cards for hurting the Fellowship. I still think that's probably a good way of the free people winning the game is by dunking, and a card like Issa's Bane is very powerful for really hurting them. Especially since they haven't got a real spot to heal other than bloody Edoras, which is a terrible healing spot. So yeah, that's it. Like Issa's Bane did nothing there. Did absolutely nothing there. Cruel's Death is a good card, but I think the value of Issa's Bane is just inherently better, personally, in a game such as this. Gronaprof only gets one hit back. No card, no card. No hits from GeForce. GeForce's dice feel like they've been pretty bad this game overall. Certainly in military. On the military side of things, anyway. Gronaprof gets one hit back. No card, no card. Wow, yeah, just can't roll a 6 at all. And can't cycle cards because there's no Witch King. Yeah, I'd be annoyed if I were you. Sorry about that, GeForce. Java's screwing you over here. No hits from Gronaprof at least, which balances things out somewhat. This time we have an Onslaught against Daylight, so at least the Daylight doesn't cancel the Onslaught, but could be a slightly dangerous Onslaught situation here, depending on how many hits the free people get. Now GeForce gets the hits, that's good. Only one back, that's going to be perfect for an Onslaught, actually. Goes for 4, wise, I think, and gets the 5s. Great. Good play, well done. Up to 5 victory points. So yeah, this is an interesting one. The problem with this attack is it has once again opened up a quite a big avenue for for this northern pool, because what they're going to do is probably muster twice and then start charging, and then this army will probably try and come and get Dol Guldur. Will Orcs multiplying be enough to protect Dol Guldur? Musters in Woodland Realm. I think that's readying for the offensive, not the defensive. New Powers Rising is played. Okay, oh, okay, and this army is still stuck here. That's a little bit awkward. Yeah, that's good. Buffing everything up. Also, yeah, the other problem with New Powers Rising is the fact that for the free people this is such a big defensive force to protect Moria now. Kind of almost writes Moria off as a genuine target. I think, unless the Shadow sends these guys south. Maybe Gundabad's a better option, but then Orcs multiplying again. Wait, oh my god! I've just realised you just played Orc multiplying again. That was your best defensive card. That was your hold up your sleeve and protect your ass from exactly what I'm talking about. You know, if this army now goes for Dol Guldur and this army goes for Mount Gundabad, could be curtains for the Shadow. And also now the free people know you don't have Orcs multiplying again, so they can actually freely go for these strongholds without worrying about it too much. Let's see if that happens. But okay, but doing some mustering in advance, which is good. But you're going to need to roll some decent musters in future, or you're going to be in trouble. Right, mustering's a long plan war. Bit late for that one. Desperate Battle's good though, obviously. Palantir's good. Swords and Eridor, they're back again. Yeah, not great. Okay, great roll for the Shadow. Great roll. Really, really versatile roll. horrific roll for the free people. Terrible roll. Exactly what you didn't want. Can move the Fellowship at least. They get hit. 1 tile. Axe and Bow eats it. Goes for Dol Amroth. Okay, we're going to get some Kid and ships happening this turn, I suspect, unless this falls in one go. Crawler's Death against Sudden Strike. Okay. Sudden Strike does no hits. G-Force gets 2, 3. That's good. 2 back. Going for the press. You've got to take it out right now. You've got to take it right now. Can you take it right now? You got 2. Okay. Nicely done. Kid and ships is ineffective. That's very sad for poor old Gronaprof, who was holding that for a long time. But the dice did come at a good time finally for G-Force. Takes that out in one fell swoop. This decision to split the armies and go for Dol Amroth has proven very successful. I don't think statistically you were that likely to take this down half as easily as you did. But hey, it worked out. Now it's looking very, very tricky for the free people. I'm really curious to see where they decide to go. Blade Swords and Eridor, cycles into Celeborns for a daylight. Free people, the Fellowship moves. Going to get into Mordor this turn. There's no cruel weather. They're revealed into Minas Morgul. I think the Shadow could have actually... You could have played... you could have actually stopped them getting to Mordor this turn if you had played Nazgul's Search when they were in North Ithilien. Then they would have hidden. They would have had to use a ring. Oh no, they might have been able to use a character die to hide. And then a ring to move. But you would have got a ring. You would have got a ring. And you would have actually made use of Nazgul Search. So I think that would probably have been worth it. And gets an eye tile. That sucks. Alright. In terms of cards, we get another Ent card. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I saw some card drawing going on. So red tile goes in the pool. Draws into Gwaihir the Windlord. Goes for Fords, no card. Okay, going for that final victory point. Maybe 3 in Rohan. No hits. 2 back. Good defensing. Good defensing. That's not a word. Good defending from the Rohirrim. And they retreat into Helm's Deep. And it's going to be now it's pretty much like a pretty straightforward probably ring race versus military at this rate. It's going to come down a lot down to the mustard. Sorry, the I can't talk today. I'm tired. I've been a bit ill. Forgive me. The action dice. Who gets the best action dice? To be honest, if the Shadow gets good action dice, they're only going to be rolling, 8 dice, I think. So that's versus 5. So that does give the Fellowship a free people a chance. But okay, reasonable amount of movement. Not a huge number of attacks, but probably enough attacks. The free people kind of. The Shadow should be able to win this within, I'd say, the expected 2.5 turns it takes to get. So basically, the Shadow probably needs to win this within 2 turns. Unless you get a really spotless run up Mordor, I think it's likely that the Shadow will be able to win this within 2 turns. Where'd you get your victory points? Probably... Oh, this could be tricky, though. 2 Ent cards, actually. I take it back. 2 Ent cards against Helm's Deep. There's no forces here because these guys went down here. Actually, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's actually really an actual path to those victory points. I mean, yeah, you can't go for Shire because that's defended. Yeah, this is really awkward because so many of the forces have just been rinsed in the meat grinder by the forces of good. I think, yeah, maybe, I think probably three turns, maybe even 4 turns, depending on what happens in Rohan. In which case, the free people just need a good run in Mordor and not hit any red tiles. Mustering in Orthanc. Twice. Wait, yeah, twice, I guess. Oh no, did they? Oh, sorry, used the ability to turn 2 of these guys into elites. Athelas is played. Terrible Athelas. Very unlucky for Gronaprof. Okay, giving up on this dude. Just going to rely on Nazgul leadership. Go down to 7 dice, presumably. Decides to... Okay. Kind of relying on the fact that the free people are going to prioritize using character dice to move. Where did the other character die go? On Anduril. Okay, yeah, so biding their time. I think I would have preferred to move... actually... You do actually really need to use Anduril before you lose all of these fellas. Ah, so that's just unlucky for Grona Prof. Rohan wants to get close to war. Westerondor goes to Osgiliath. Oh, okay, so that's what prompted it. Okay, it's trying to take over the whole of Rohan. Takes over the whole of Gondor to prevent Path of the Woses. Smart play. Just covering all their bases. But oh no, undoes that, decides not to do that. Instead draws a card. Path of the Woses has been played. Maybe they checked the cards and saw that it had been played, because that's the only reason you'd do that play. Stop Path of the Woses. So no reason to do it, actually. I've been there before. Split this army, take over the whole of Rohan in one fell swoop. That's the play. Alright, now the military stuff's happening. Great stuff. Okay. They're going for Dol Guldur, and they're going for Moria, as predicted much earlier. Waiting until the shadow has limited dice. Can't actually get... Okay, so they can attack into here and then use a ring to actually put Moria under siege. This army can no longer, because no rings are available. Which is why, again, it would have been good to sneak a ring out of the shadow for situations like... Sorry, the free people for situations like this. Musters a big boy in Moria. Okay, decides not to... I suppose you can attack here this turn and then attack first thing next turn. That's fine, actually. Yeah. And then you make the most out of that character die. Hits a red tile, a 3. Gimli and a Hobbit die. Back to step 1. Warm Restore and Toil. Kills whatever that was. Pits of Mordor is played. Okay, now you've got Pits... Okay, this is looking... It's just like the portcullis has come down. The door has been slammed. 3 people get back in your place. You have no... what's the line? You have no power here. Yeah, not looking good. However, there's a big old army growing in the Jew line. And the Nazgai have come to Ford's Vizon to try and take down Helm's Deep, and also come to defend Moria. Help and look for, and Harvest the Stewards, R.I.P. Boromir. Monsters roused, and the Ring is mine. Okay, get in all the red tiles. The pool itself is not terrible by any means, but with another red tile in there, it's going to look a lot worse. Now Ent kills Saruman. Good job by you. Red tile goes in. Danger of not moving first thing. Gandalf joins the party. So perfectly countering. Kill the wargs, then get Gandhi in. Great play. No leadership for you, winky face. Druiden, Osgiliath, and da-da-da. Okay. Moves up the mountain once again. Gets a good tile this time. Down to Gollum. Stormcrow is drawn. Horn of Gondor is drawn. Too late for you, Horn of Gondor. The mouth comes into play. And Hollin is attacked from South Downs, I believe that is, yes. To reach... Oh yeah, you can actually play Durin's Bane. Sick. That's so good. Wow, what a great use of Durin's Bane. That's an awesome play. So rare to see that. Often a card... I probably would have just forgotten that you could even do that. That's really, really cool. And 1 hit back. So yeah, not looking good for this Northern Army, I don't think. I think this looks like more of a desperation play than anything. from the free people. Maybe just trying to buy a little bit of time if they can. Maybe try and go through to Lorien to put this under siege. Go through, try and take back Lorien if you're really lucky. That's all. Like you can't take down Moria, no way. Rise of Theoden, Mithril Coat and Sting, Fighting from the Deep, Olokai. Alright. God, it feels so weird to have so few dice being played so late in the game. Especially from the Shadow. Plays Mithril Coat and Sting. I think with 2 red tiles in there, that is smart. I think the Shadow, I think they might have lost some blue tiles to Warm Restore and Toil, because I feel like the free people have definitely drawn a fair few blue tiles. I mean, they're only down to 7 cards left, so they must have at some point. Very, very likely to. And File, yeah, discarded File. Yeah, that could come back to bite you. Leadership dances around the board. Mustering in Rohan. Helm's Deep is attacked. We'll put under siege. Oh, should they not be up to 8 victory points now? Let me just count. Yeah, they forgot to update this. This should be up to 8 victory points because of Edoras. Right, so Helm's Deep is fighting a field battle. How exciting. We get Chiedan ships. Gets 1 pre-hit. G-Force gets 2. Gronaprof gets 4. Wow, okay. They can fight. They now go into a siege, but this army is definitely not big enough to take this down, I don't think. Musters more in Bree. Leadership in the form of the Mouth and a little Isengardian come to join in Westermet to join the party in Helm's Deep. Really slow reinforcements from Bree, heads from South Downs. I'm guessing the Northern Force Pool is empty now. Yes, it pretty much is, apart from a couple of regs. Oh, nice use of Monsters Roused, just to kind of be annoying. Could be an option. It's potential here for the 4 cities. Group some of these guys together, go take down the Shire, and then build a small army here and take down Dale when this army goes south to Dol Guldur, which it appears to be doing. Moves to Fellowship using the ring. Hits Shelob. Okay, you're going to use Mithril, obviously. And gets an eye. Okay. That's still pretty painful, to be honest. Very bad luck for the free people in Mordor. Yeah, so I mean, obviously this has been exceptionally bad luck for the free people, but it does also show that in a game where you're planning it's going to be a long game, a slow game, because of the way you played it, you know, by getting Aragorn into play, going for on the offensive, where going a bit slower, playing Wizard Staff, getting a couple of blue tiles in there. I'm sure there was probably opportunity to get maybe one of them in there. You didn't have to discard File, perhaps. Easier said than done, but there was at least one turn where the free people rolled a ton of Palantirs, and that would have been a good card to play there. So yeah, easy for me to say after the fact, but I do think that playing like that does open you up to more. Just if the luck goes a bit against you in Mordor, you can really just get shafted, and it's gone heavily against you in Mordor, and now it looks almost impossible for a ring victory for the free people. Elven Cloaks is drawn though. Maybe that's a small glint of hope. Wait, flips nothing. That was meant to be flipped, right? Why didn't that flip? I think, yeah, there we go. Should have flipped. One was Dawn kills the other Will. This is looking really desperate for the free people now. Elven Cloaks goes in. Still got 2 rings though. Can move again this turn. Can move this turn. Bolstering in Helm's Deep takes place. More reinforcements are coming, even from Dol Amroth. Yeah, just send us your guys. You know, they lit the beacons the reverse way. You know, we need help from the south runs. The ring. Oh my god, are you kidding me? G-Force. That is a cruel pull. This is very unfair. I mean, okay, you dodged the red tile, sorry, the Shelob because of Mithril, but then to hit the 3rd red tile, unbelievable. 2 reveal stop. Does he have a card to finish it? Does not have a card to finish it. Does have a card to finish it. Oof. That is a mean end to that game. I think the free people were doomed regardless, to be honest. I don't think they quite had an avenue back into this game. But really, yeah, really fun one. I think some really good play. For really interesting fun play from Prof. Just, you know, going get a crowning Aragorn, going for that attack. It could have worked. I would have been tempted to go for it. I might have gone for it. But it does show you how kind of paper thin. You kind of need to have a route to another 2 victory points, I think, to pull that off. So yeah, in retrospect, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But maybe bide your time, get a scouts, make it so you have different avenues. So if you do, you can almost do some misdirection. You can start heading up here, and then you play through a day and a night, and you actually go for Dol Guldur instead when they send them to Lorien. Like something like that might have actually been the way to go. And by that point, you've also mustered the north a bit more, and you've kind of got another credible target. So you can send these guys up to like Mount Gundabad or something. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have bitten when you did and gone for it, so I can't really be overly critical, but I think it's been a lesson for me in terms of, you know, when is the time to jump and when is the time to be patient. You got that stronghold, but you needed within 2 turns at least to be able to get another one, probably within 1 turn, and it wasn't there yet. It wasn't there yet. If GeForce hadn't fallen for if it had fallen for the trap, you would have won the game. So you were 1 mistake away, 1 rash mistake from the opposition away from winning. So like really valiant attempt. But yeah, as I said before, I do think that maybe taking a bit more time with the Gandhi, with the Wizard stuff, with the file, get stuff like that in the pool, then at least you have a better chance of surviving this kind of nonsense luck in Mordor. But yeah, nicely finished by GeForce. I still don't think I would have used, like, I don't know, I suppose it worked out. It worked out. So using that onslaught did indeed end up not being an issue. Yeah, quite frustrating for the shadow, the free people. It feels like you're close to doing something, but it's just not there. Once you lost that Aragorn die, I think losing Aragorn's die, I really would have tried to find a way of, because there wasn't really a route to winning, I would have tried to somehow finagle it. So maybe if it'd gone for Barad or Morannon, as I said earlier, again, you can escape Aragorn when it's obvious that that's not going to be a way of winning. And then you can get him over here, then maybe you can play Day Without Dawn, and then you can waste some more time, and then you can go for, like, do you know what I mean? You can kind of, like, you have an extra die in the game, you have an Aragorn in the game, and it can really then help at this stage of the game to make this attack more credible. But as it was, didn't quite work out. But I thought you, like, I mean, I'm an observer. It's easy for me to throw stones. I thought you still played it very well. Anyway, yeah, thanks for sharing, guys. That was really cool. Really enjoyed it. Lots of 5s were rolled in this game. I do not know by who. High on hybrids on both sides. Low on musters for the shadow. Yeah, that was actually, I think the shadow could have really done with a few more musters this game. High on eyes eventually started to make a difference. Didn't help in the early game. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and see you around, people. Ciao, ciao.